Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Grounded video. So in this one, we're going to cover some of the things you probably want to do if you haven't started playing the PTS yet, and then some things you're going to want to do right away once the update actually drops. Now, the PTS for the home stretch has been out for almost 2 weeks now, about a week for players on Xbox and the Xbox Insider app and everything like that. And we still haven't gotten that new feature that's been teased yet, so we're probably going to look at getting that sometime this week. But as for now, so if you haven't jumped into the PTS yet, you're waiting for the update to actually come out, or if you are playing the PTS right now, we're going to cover some things that you should be doing before and during and after the update actually comes out. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The big thing that we know right now is the introduction of nuggets. We've gone over this. Quartzite's gone. Now, that's not to say that you have to stop collecting quartzite. If you haven't jumped into the PTS yet, go ahead and get all those quartzite, and you can still start collecting it. And what you're going to do is actually convert it into quartzite globs, which will actually convert over to these mighty globs right here. So I'm not going to touch on too much of the stuff I've covered in previous videos, but you do still want to, whatever quartzite and stuff you have, go ahead and throw it in the oven, cook it up, and get these mighty globs that will be converted over from the quartzite globs. We do know about the tough nuggets for your weapon upgrades. We do know about the fashion nuggets for your armor upgrades. So these, like I've said before, are going to be found all over the backyard. Rumor has it that there's going to be a scab edition for purchase from Burgle that's going to show you the location of these. So the ones that you find out in the yard are finite. They're not infinite. Once you find them, they're gone. Once you collect them, they're gone. They're all over the map, though, all over the backyard. Every place you've already gone, every lab, caves in the pond, Red Ant Hill, Black Ant Hill, termite den, upper yard, lower yard, everywhere that you've been is going to have some of these nuggets, whether it be the tier 1, which are the regular tough and fashion nuggets, tier 2, which are the cool fashion nuggets and tough nuggets, and then tier 3, which are the rad fashion and tough nuggets. So all over the yard. As of right now, I don't have an actual estimate of the number of each one, but you can see right here, just from the fashion, we've got about 200 of the regular. What are we looking at? 68 of the cool, and then 12 right here of the rad. Now, I've not gone out and collected all of them. Just in my gameplay and everything like that, I've gone out and grabbed the ones that I see. So there are more out there to be had. But for right now, once you're playing the PTS and after the update comes out, go ahead and get those. They're going to be instrumental in upgrading your armor and weapons going forward. So level 1 through 5 is going to be your regular nuggets. 6 and 7 is going to be your cool nuggets, and then 8 and 9 is going to be your rad nuggets. So. And don't worry about these being finite right now when you find them out in the yard. You will get a recipe. As it stands now, after the Black Ant Hill, once you turn that chip in for the assistant manager, you're going to be able to get the recipe for the cool nuggets, so you'll be able to craft them. Like I said, we've gone over it before. I'm not going to get too much into it, but sap and spider fangs. So on that note of the nuggets, we talked about resources. I did a video about everything you guys should be collecting prior to this update coming out. And a lot of it was quartzite and all your spicy candy, your mint candy, your salt, and stuff like that. Well, now that we have a better idea, we know that one of the integral recipe or resources that you're going to need, rather, is going to be sap right here. So sap is going to be used in all of your nugget crafting, your fashion nuggets, your tough nuggets, your regular ones. You can see sap is required for all of them. On that note as well, some of the other resources you're going to need right here for the regular tough nuggets, so basically your tier 1, you're going to need larva spikes, so get out there and start killing a bunch of larvae. For your fashion nuggets, you're going to need mite fuzz, to get out there and start killing mite fuzz. For your cool tough nuggets, which is going to be your tier 2, level 6 and 7, you see that we need spider fangs, so that's going to be wolf spiders. The regular spiders, as of now, don't drop these. Maybe Orb Weaver Juniors or Orb Weavers will in the future. And I don't think the Broodmother drops these. She has her Broodmother fangs, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong, either way. Cool fashion nuggets, you're going to need bee fuzz. Get out there and kill some bees. Now, this could obviously cause raids to come, but right now, raids, in my opinion, still aren't the biggest thing in the world. They're not going to hurt you too bad. They're really easy to defend away. So that's the resources that we're looking at. So obviously, sap is still going to be a big one. We've talked about the sap catchers on the turrets glitch that is still available to use prior to the PTS. So if you haven't jumped into the PTS yet, go ahead and build yourself some pebblet turrets. Throw as many sap catchers as you can on there, and then you can basically have a sap collector right outside your base. Saves you time from going over to the Fallen Branch, running back and forth from the Oak Lab where the wolf spiders and or infected wolf spiders if you turn the haze off. So it's definitely going to save you time. So go ahead and do that before the PTS. And I have verified, at least as of now, they haven't destroyed the turrets with the sap catchers on them. So I can go out to my sap catchers right now. They're still producing that sap. So if you have it before the PTS, it's kind of grandfathered in. It's one of those things. But if you do it, if you try to do it after the PTS, you're not going to be able to do that. So look at my notes here. Another thing, obviously, we have is the cookery. So I've pointed this out in one of the other videos I've done here. So the cookery is basically going to be where you cook all your meals here. You can see how nice and neat it looks here. If we look at it, this is going to be all your meals. So I'm going to talk about meals a little bit here because as far as I know right now with the PTS as it stands, and I don't know if this is going to change, let me go ahead and put out all of this is my opinion, and all of these are subject to change with the PTS and the update not being fully released yet. So take these as you will. Anyways, the roasts that you put on the roasting spits now do spoil and they will fall off. So prior to the PTS, I know the roasting spits, the roast that you put on there never spoiled. Well, now they do. So you might want to start looking into doing some of these meals that are more effective, will fill you up with food and everything. And one of the things that the roast did was heal you a small amount. So we want to talk about that too. So go ahead and craft your cookery. Real cheap to craft. We'll go ahead and jump into it here and take a look at it. 9 weed stems, 2 clay, 1 acid gland, 1 boiling gland. So not too difficult to craft. And it's going to be available for purchase from Burgle for, I think, 1,000 raw science. It's going to be just the cooking 101 or cookery 101 is the recipe you get from Burgle. And it's 1,000 raw science. So you're definitely going to need that going forward. Now, talking about healing, one of the things I always carried around a lot of was I use smoothies a lot for healing. You can see my inventory here. I always have beefy smoothies, and I was using these for the extra heal. So if we want to look at that in comparison to the bandages do heal over time, but you can look at the amount of healing that bandages give you, and it's very small. So if you're trying to heal in the middle of combat, bandages are not going to do very much for you. You can see just that little bit, and then it ticks over a few seconds. Every few seconds you're going to get very little healing over time. So you might want to start looking into ulterior modes of healing, one being smoothies. Human food is a really good smoothie. You get that from all the hot dogs and the cookies and stuff like that, and the apple bits. Smoothies are really good for healing in battle and after battle. And obviously they give you the buffs too. But what I'm thinking about now is instead of using these bandages, which heal very slowly over time, is actually go ahead and using these heal bosses now. The only issue with this, you don't want to use these in battle because they do heal area of effect. So if you're fighting an insect in the middle of battle, it's going to heal them too if they get hit by it. But after battle, or if you're playing multiplayer, you can go ahead and throw one of these down. And you see how much it's going to heal you right there. So as opposed to bandages, I definitely recommend starting to look at, if you're not using smoothies yet, get into the habit of using smoothies, not just for the buffs, but also for the heals, as well as the heal bosses. Just be careful to not be using the heal bosses when you're around any insects that you're fighting, because you will heal them too. We went over the resources that you want to collect. One of the other things that I think, we talk about all the different ways that we may get under the shed, the new area over there that's been dubbed the jungle biome, basically. You've seen around that area, if you've even before the PTS and during, if you've been around that area, there's a lot of little areas where there's those explodable rocks. They look like explodable rocks. So I definitely, if you don't have it, or if you're very low on Brot Bursts or Splat Bursts, I highly recommend go ahead and crafting some of those. So go get yourself some of the red ant eggs. The red ant hill is very easy to clear out now. Get yourself a ton of red ant eggs. Go ahead and make yourself some Brot Bursts and Splat Bursts, just so you're prepared when we do get this new update. And for 1.0 coming out here in about 6-7 weeks, that you're going to be able to go ahead and get into those new areas as fast as possible. And one last thing, or a few more things here. So I have been messing around with the pets quite a bit. And the big reason, like I said in my last video, is to get a pet, is definitely just to have this extra inventory space. Now, in one of the updates, they said the pet gnats, there was a patch, the pet gnats aren't supposed to follow you around constantly. They're supposed to stay at the pet house. And I have had some issues with pets not dying, but generally just disappearing when I get back from my base. We can come down here. We do have another weevil pet, and I'll probably just end up sticking with the weevils or aphids because they seem to not escape as often as the pet gnats do. But still, just the extra inventory space right here. And like I said again in that pet gnat video, I'm not going to beat the dead horse here. But use these extra inventory slots when you're out running around gathering resources, and throw whatever is not too important, your more common resources. Throw these over here and free up your own inventory for some of the important stuff, just in the event that the pet does die or fall through the world and stuff like that, because you will lose those resources. Unless he's close by, then you can actually go pick those resources back up. And one last thing just to wrap up the video, because we have all these new things that are coming out right now, and especially for 1.0, we know that we're going to need a lot of raw science to start purchasing this stuff. So if you played for a while, you probably have enough raw science to purchase all the recipes now. But we know down the road we're probably getting more ant or head mounts. We know we're getting more stuffed insects. We obviously know we're getting more recipes in the cookery, the nuggets, the cool nuggets, and then the rad nuggets, which we don't know what that's going to consist of, or how much a raw science that's going to cost. So definitely start doing some quests and everything. Just build up your raw science a little bit, just so you can go ahead and purchase those things right when they're available to you. And another note on that too, so we do know when you're crafting these nuggets right here, we don't have the rad nuggets available, but we do know for the tough nuggets and the cool fashion nuggets, what the cost is going to be. So for the tier 3, the rad fashion nuggets, I believe the fashion nuggets is going to be dust mite fuzz, and then the tough nuggets are going to be black ox horns. Now, as we all know, there's only 2 black ox beetles that are in the upper yard right now. So I'm going to think that if they do stick with the black ox horns being a required resource for this recipe for the rad fashion or rad tough nuggets, we're obviously either going to get more black ox beetles, which would make sense, especially if that black ox, if that armor that we saw in the trailer is black ox armor. So odds are we're going to get more black ox beetles in the yard, and potentially the drop rate for the black ox horn is going to be increased, so we can craft these rad tough nuggets a lot easier. The rad fashion nuggets, dust mite fuzz, dust mites have been made a lot easier to battle, so I'm not too worried about that. But so to add on to these resources right here, black ox horns and dust mite fuzz is one thing you're going to know. So that's all I can give you guys right now. My opinion of things that you should do right now prior to the update, if you're not jumped into the PTS, and things that you should be doing right now if you are currently playing the PTS for the update when it drops. And also, like I said, we still don't know what that feature is, so that could change things all up. But for right now, that's all we got for this video, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'd love to have you join the community. Link to join the Discord in the description, where we talk all things grounded, the updates, the PTS, full release, base builds, everything else going on in the game. So we'd love to have you join the community. With that being said, everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, stay original, my friends. We'll see you guys in the next video. Later.